Our society has become increasingly disgusting. I spoke about this last week. And when you start to see that your government is sponsoring that, when they're putting real dollars behind things like drag queen story hour in New York City, you should realize that something nefarious is going on, because the government does not care about your children. No, the government does not love your children. The government does not want your children to be accepted. The government wants your children to be enslaved to government for the rest of their life. And right now, as we're seeing, there is a marriage between government and big pharma. It is my belief that that is the push behind this effort to tell children that they can pick their gender and to confuse them. I believe our government is actually sponsoring mental illness.
Hey everybody, Maz Jobrani here. Maz Jobrani there. Maz Jobrani here again. Candace Owens went on a rant against, I guess, drag queen story hour. I guess they were having, for Pride Month, some libraries were having events where parents could bring their kids, and there was a drag queen reading to them. And this has upset Candace Owens because the right wing is upset because apparently, according to the right wing, drag queens are now taking over this country and they're going to convert your kids into drag queenism. I guess that's the new enemy. It feels like every month or every week there's a new enemy. It's LGBTQ, it's drag queens, it's Muslims, it's black people, it's immigrants, it's Mexicans, it's the other. So to see somebody like Candace Owens, who is African American, who is black, take these positions is heartbreaking, because a while ago it was black people who couldn't marry white people because of the conservative mentality of this country, because of the racist mentality of this country. And now there's black people like Candace Owens saying that drag queens are a bad thing, that they shouldn't be reading in a story hour to kids. How about teaching tolerance? How about teaching to each his own? How about teaching respect for others no matter who or what? How about that? Where did that go? Most of the people who have these hardcore opinions are either, one, they're either very, very religious. I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, very religious. Or they are, secondly, it's that they don't want to pay taxes, and so they don't care what rights are taken away from what group as long as they don't pay taxes. Or they're grifters. Now, I don't know where Candace Owens falls on this, but it's heartbreaking and it's wrong to see a person of color going after LGBTQ. But with Candace Owens, it gets worse because she's Candace Owens and she finds ways to make it worse. In her rant, she starts saying that she thinks that this whole push towards having young people embrace their sexuality or embrace their sex or maybe admit that they're LGBTQ is all part of a bigger plan of the government, because the government wants to have people be mentally ill. This is what she says. I'm not making this up. She goes, the government wants mental illness in this country so that they will be dependent, these kids will be dependent on big pharma. So she thinks big pharma is behind the push for LGBTQ. I don't know where she gets this from. I don't know how she came up with that. She's saying that mental illness is something that big pharma wants, and mental illness is being gay. That's what she's saying. Meanwhile, I haven't seen any drag queens go on a shooting rampage. I haven't seen any drag queens storm the Capitol. Maybe there was one there. I don't know. But for the most part, the people suffering from major mental illness tend to be a lot of these extremists on the right who are living in a fantasy world and in a QAnon world and are being inspired by the Candace Owenses of this world, by the Tucker Carlsons of this world, by the Donald Trumps of this world to be conspiracy theorists. Candace Owens goes on to say that the parents who took their kids to the drag queen library reading in New York City should have their kids taken away. She's saying that if you support your kid for wanting to embrace their sexuality, meaning say that they're LGBTQ, you should get your kids taken away. That's her solution. Meanwhile, studies have shown that kids that come from a loving family that embraces their sexuality, whether they're gay, straight, bi, LGBTQ, it doesn't matter. The parents that say, I love you, actually have healthier kids. Some of the best people I know are LGBTQ, and some of the worst people I know are straight, just assholes, like Candace Owens. I mean, there's no research or science to what she's saying. She's just making it up, and she even throws in the words. She goes, in my opinion, I think Big Pharma is behind the push for this LGBTQ, embracing of the LGBTQ community. And she goes, if your parents took you to one of these things, your kid should be taken away. How about, Candace Owens, if you take your kid to a Trump rally, your kid should be taken away? How about if you teach your kid to hate other people because of the color of their skin or their religion or their sexual preference? Those kids should be taken away and put into a loving environment. How about that? How about if you want to talk about kids that need saving, how about Barron Trump? Let's get that kid out of that relationship. I mean, I don't know, the mom might be loving, but the dad isn't. How about saving Eric Trump? It's never too late. There's a lot of other people. How about saving you, Candace Owens? What kind of non-love did you grow up in that you now are turning around and sending your vitriol towards LGBTQ? Every week it's something new with the right wing. Just stop it. Stop it. Look around you. I bet you know somebody who's LGBTQ and you actually like that person and they're good people. Please. Why do we have to hate it? Look in the mirror. Listen, the right is trying to bring other people down so they can beat up other people and blame other people for everything that's not right in their world. How about looking in the mirror and improving yourself? How about looking in the mirror and doing something altruistic? How about looking in the mirror and improving yourself physically, mentally, reading, traveling, loving? How about that? Go see a therapist. Talk to them. Be like, why do I have to hate LGBTQ people? Why do I have to come up with crazy conspiracy bullshit? Why am I like that? Ask those questions, Candace Owens, and then we'll talk. Good luck to you. Namaste.